Hey, North City, I want to break down for you what it looks like to participate at North City this year. And what I mean by that is all the rhythms that we have planned to fulfill our mission of loving our neighbors in the way of Jesus. It looks similar to what it has in years past, but every turn of a season here in the fall means new rhythms for us of being a community together. So I just want to break it down for you. I know it's weird. I know it's different than most churches. We have non-typical rhythms because we're not a typical church. So I'm going to try to break it down and try to keep it simple for you. And on some of the newer stuff that we have this year, I might film another video with a little bit deeper dive if you're interested in learning more. But let's just walk through what a week at North City will be like this school year. So let's start with Sundays because that's our primary day of being together. Through the month of September, we are jumping into our brunch church rhythm, which is our first thing. And that this year will be at 10 a.m. So we're moving it forward a little bit. And we're infusing some changes in it. Changes that I would say fit in the broader theme of going deeper. Some of our staff has actually already articulated this, and it fits really well. Going deeper in our relationship with God, deeper in our relationships with our neighborhood and neighbors, deeper in our relationship with each other, which is kind of what our picture of discipleship is, what our picture of a balanced, good expression of loving our neighbors in the way of Jesus looks like. So for brunch church, what that means is we're going to shake up the order a little bit. We're going to experiment with different ways of connecting with God, each other, and our neighbors during that time. But 10 a.m., join us for that. There'll be coffee, really good brunch. We're starting to get these menus from Chef Duncan, and oh my goodness, it's going to be great. So join us for that at 10 a.m. We'll have a great time connecting together. That'll be our anchor time together through the fall. The exception is we're sticking with Sundays here is first Sundays of the month. And first Sundays of the month are really shaking up to be big ones for us starting in October, specifically October 5th. There's a couple things that are coming. Just like last year, that will be our microchurch Sunday. So that'll be our scattered Sunday where the microchurches that exist will be meeting in homes, and one of them will be meeting at Weber so that we're welcoming to neighbors who want to find out what we're all about and have something to show up to on that particular Sunday. So be on the lookout for communication. I know that there's some conversation about multiplication in some of our microchurches. If you find you're not having a connection with a microchurch because yours has ended, or because you haven't tried one yet, or because you're open to a new one, talk to me. I would love to be your liaison and kind of your guide of finding a microchurch that fits for you in this microchurch season. It's a really special space for us. It's a place where we primarily go deeper with each other, but it's for the purpose of going deeper with God and building deeper relationships through our personal or collective mission of loving our neighbors in the way of Jesus. So first Sunday is microchurch Sunday. And here's the big news for this year. And I'm very excited about this. I think it's going to be an awesome thing. And it is called Encounter. So for a long time, we have experimented with worship nights. We have tried to design ways where a mission-focused church like ours, or a mission-forward church like ours, has spaces where we can deeply connect with God and encounter God together. And you all have raised this desire with me, not that it's not present in other spaces we have, but there's something distinct that we don't have yet that we want to keep experimenting with. Then you've brought this need to me. We've done some ideation and experimentation. And then I've brought that need to our friends, our church friends, Mill City and other agile churches, the network that we're a part of. And what has come out of those conversations is this hope to create this space of encounter for churches across Minneapolis, and specifically the ones that are connected to Agile and who are on mission together, to have a space of encounter for disciples like you who are on mission in other ways together. So what's emerging is this really cool vision for having this gathering that's other churches around Minneapolis, other people who are on mission around Minneapolis, and designed specifically together to encounter God's presence in different ways. So more specifically, what this means for North City is that because we are a part of the origin of this, they have allowed us to dedicate the first Sundays of the month, because it will actually happen every Sunday, but the first Sundays of the month as kind of North City Encounter Sundays. What that means for us is that we have an opportunity for childcare to make it easier for us to do, but B, have a collective Sunday where we're pointing to and saying, hey, that's our Sunday. We're going to go and be there together. And JD and some of the other staff maybe in the future will have some influence over shaping that time, not just for us, for everyone's that's there, but it'll kind of be the North City Encounter Sundays. It will happen every Sunday at 5 p.m. at Mill City's building. And you can go to it whenever you would like. It's designed to be a resource for missionary people like you, to be filled up, to have an encounter with God. There will just only be childcare on first Sundays of the month. They're doing that just for us, which is fantastic. They do need to hear from us. So if this is something that interests you, and you have kids that you would like childcare for during that time, awesome. Just let us know. We'll be sending you a text and we'll need you to respond and say, hey, I would love childcare for Encounter. The first one is October 5th. If you got more questions about it, please let me know. So that is Sundays. Wow. We're 7 minutes into this thing and we just covered Sundays. The big, key, important other day of the week for our community is Wednesday. And Wednesday Night Discipleship kicks off with our mission partner meeting September 17th, and then goes pretty much every week from there. The schedule is kind of lined up. My dog is in the background. I'm very bored and holding this. Starts September 17th. That's our mission partner meeting. Would encourage you to go, even if you're like, am I even a mission partner? The key question is, do you feel invested in our mission? Both intrigued enough to find out more or invested in it in many ways? Then come. That will be at 6 p.m. Mill City is hosting us. Again, there is kids elementary discipleship and high school discipleship happening at the same time. So that's the first one. But ongoing from there, discipleship nights are essentially a every other week rhythm of men's and women's groups or discipleship content that brings you through a focus of formation. So the men's and women's groups are designed for us to have a clear, transparent way to be real about what's going on in our lives. This year, we're encouraging you to pair whatever you're working through in others of content, and just what's happening in your life. And I want to be clear that that is open to everyone every time it happens. So if you want to drop in for that and you're not consistently going through another piece of content on the other Wednesdays, please come just to have that place of connection with other North City men or women. And if the groups get to be a certain size, we'll just create multiple groups because they have a way of being together that can be multiplied. So what's the content for Discipleship Night this year? As I said, we have discipleship for every age. So there's kids discipleship that happens that Mill City leads that my kids frankly love. I think they call it Night Church or something like that, but it's awesome. They use great curriculum that pairs well with the curriculum we use on Sundays. For middle school and high school, they have discipleship spaces for them as well. It happens at slightly a different time, but there's huge overlap there. So you as a parent of those kids can come and participate in the content while they participate in those experiences. And then for adults, we have two content options. The first one is called the Leadership Cohort. And I'm excited about this because all of you really are trying to be intentional with your influence, but some of you lead consistently in your vocation. And this is designed to invest in your leadership. It'll give you practical tools for how you lead in your vocation, whether that's in your home or in your work job life. And it will be infused with things like emotional intelligence, adaptive leadership, and it'll Jesus focus. So we'll be looking at Jesus's life, leadership that he implemented in all those different things. My hope is that all of us who do that, and I'll be the one kind of guiding North City people through it, come out as better leaders on the other end. So it's kind of a part one, but we're just asking you to commit. That'll go all the way through May for a curriculum, and that will be every other week in rhythm with our men's and women's group. The second piece of content, I'm excited about this too, is we're going to do a practicing the way practice. And so we've done stuff from practicing the way before, John Mark Comer, and we're going to do the practice of scripture this year. And so what that will be like is there'll be some video teaching, there'll be some work to do throughout the week, but this practice is specifically designed to reignite or maybe ignite for the first time the practice of being shaped by scripture in your everyday life. And so I love the content they put out. I think it'll be a really great journey. If you're looking to make scripture a more permanent part of your rhythm for your life, or learn how you can learn more from scripture or experience God's presence more from scripture, that would be an awesome piece of content to go through with people. So those are the options we have for discipleship night. We would love for you to pick one of those. So just to be clear, we'll split in those two different groups. Not humble. We'll split in those two different groups for the content nights. Then we'll be together in men's and women's groups for those nights. That, among other things that we're doing, is a picture of what North City looks like this season. So just to recap, as you go through your week, starting in October when all these things are full swing, the first Sunday, you'll connect with your microchurch, probably in the morning, and then 5 p.m. will be North City Encounter, a space to encounter God through worship and a lot of other practices that we'll do together. That goes every Sunday night, so it'll be an option to you if you want to go and participate. There won't be childcare, but it'll still be happening if it's something that you need that week. Of course, every other Sunday after that is brunch church, where we'll be connecting together. And then Wednesday nights will be Wednesday night discipleship, both men's and women's group one week, then content, either the leadership cohort or the practice of scripture. That's what North City looks like this year. Thanks for listening.